What? What's going on, everyone? It's your realtor, Carlos Rios, and today I am with my colleague, Charles Clark. Charles, how you doing?
I'm well, sir. And yourself?
Oh, man, I can't complain. And if I did complain, nobody will listen.
I would.
Yeah. So today we're going to be talking about the real in real estate investing. The real in real estate investing. Now, I think it's important to dive into the realness of all real estate, but specifically in investing. And the reason I got Charles Clark here is because he is a master broker when it comes to investment.
I like to think so.
Yeah? How long have you been doing it?
So I originally got my license in 2005, went through the crash and everything else, and then kind of got out of it, took care of some degrees and things of that nature, and came back into 2018 as an investor. And then I got my license back in 2020, and then got my brokers in 2021.
So you not only are a broker, but you actually invested as well in the real estate market.
Yep. I got my portfolio up to about 15 units. I had an 8 unit, a 4 unit, and that's 12, 14. So we had a duplex.
Nice. So, and I know that Charles is a part of the Next Home My Way family in the branch of investments. Not only diving into the in and outs of investing, but also teaching courses, which is one of the biggest courses that you're teaching here in our office currently.
So I teach the 90-day investors, and then I also teach RAMP, just rising agents, just the overall aspect of running a real estate business, and then buyer side and seller side. So I try to, give people the operational standpoint of running your business, but then I try to throw in there the investment. So the number one thing that I kind of do is the 90-day investments, and then I also run, I co-run Aspire in Mastermind investment group that we hold meetings here once a month. So yeah, my whole business model is surrounding investments because it's a different beast.
It's a different beast, and I know you're involved in everything and anything that has to do with investment. You also did the ACT housing as well. You were a part of that.
So yeah, I kind of worked with them on some deals, but I was part of ACRE.
Oh, ACRE.
Yeah, ACRE. Okay. ACRE is the Associates of Commercial Real Estate. It's a program that was ran by LISC. Which is a nonprofit organization that partners with UWM, Marquette, and MSOE. And they just basically tried to teach, initially it was black and brown individuals that want to get into commercial real estate and hopefully development.
Nice. So for those that don't know, UWM, Marquette, and those are some of the universities here in Wisconsin. So, and I know that you do business outside of Wisconsin. You do a lot of business inside of Wisconsin. So just for those that don't know, that's what he meant by that. Now, so you have a lot of accolades when it comes specifically to this this topic, but we want to dive into the real thing of investment. So, I mean, let's be honest. Do most real estate investors actually make money, or is it just fake rich for social media?
I would say yes or no, and then I would say timing. It just really depends on time. Most people think they're going to cash flow their first year. They're probably not. And the true essence of cash flow is, did I recoup all my investments? So typically, you're not going to recoup it in the first year. So even if you're cash flowing $200 a month, but you put 20% down, you're not cash flowing, right? Because you got to recoup your down payment. So by that standard, most people are not cash flowing the first one or second year. And typically, what people tend to run into, which most people don't think about, is when they buy a property with tenants, well, those tenants were under someone else and they had under other circumstances that they were living by. So maybe that other landlord wasn't doing a good job. So now you got bad tenants, and now it has to take you between, I would say most times it takes me between 90 days to 6 months to get them out and get better tenants in.
Wow. So out of those investors that how many of them are actually cash flowing positive?
I would say maybe it's the first year, you're probably 40%, if not less. Because just like I said, it's the down payment, recouping. Now, if you do fix and flips, that's an entirely different thing because you're typically going to cash out within the 4 to 6 months. So in those situations, I would probably say 80% of the clients are getting either their money that they invested in back and a little bit more. When you run deals for fix and flips, you tend to try to do 70% of what the ARV is going to be. ARV is after rehab value.
Okay.
So, for example, if someone was trying to, let's say the ARV is 100,000. Well, if y'all use the 70% rule, the whole project has to be $70,000 because I have to sell it for 100, get that 30,000 to make my my part. So that's how you would run your numbers if it's a fix and flip.
If it's a fix and flip, okay. And I think that's the biggest thing, right? When a lot of people that are trying to dive into investments are trying to do the HGTV type of deal, like coming in and coming out. And is that one of the main things they need to keep in their mind? Like,
yes, you got to have like what is my all-in budget, and then what is your ARV. So I kind of tell people they should reverse engineer. You kind of want to start at the end and work backwards. So if I got a property and I ran the numbers and it's $100,000, now I can start saying, okay, when I walk in there, if the roof needs to be fixed and foundation, that deal's gone, right? Because that's $20,000 right there. And people have to realize individuals are not going to pay for something that's supposed to be there. So a good roof, good foundation, that's supposed to be there. So if I waste $20,000 of my $30,000 budget, I wasted it because I need to use that money in the cosmetic things to make the value actually higher because that's what someone's going to pay for. No one's going to pay an extra $50,000 because you put a new roof on.
Yeah, they're not going to do that.
Nope.
And I think that's one of the mistakes that a lot of people do in this industry is there's things that bring value and there's things that just waste money.
Yeah. Well, a new roof is not wasting money, but I'm not going to, if rents are $1,000, I'm not going to pay you $1,200 because you put a new roof on.
Yeah.
But if you put a new bathroom in and new flooring, then I will. Right.
Okay.
So even though the roof is more important,
yeah,
the cosmetic things are what raise the rent.
Well, and they're living, right? That's their living space.
Yes.
That's where they use it daily.
Yep.
They're not using the roof daily.
Yep.
Unless there's like a leak coming
exactly.
in. And then you don't have the choice but to fix it anyway.
Yep.
So what do you think is one of the biggest mistakes that people are hiding or that they do and they're like, oh crap, like I just did this, and they hide when it comes to like investing?
Doing it alone.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the reasons why I got into this business and picked this niche was most investors not realizing it, they bought a business. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the things I say. You're not actually buying, you're buying a business, it just so happens to be a duplex.
Wow. Okay.
Right? Like even though it's a house, as soon as you get it, that's a business because you're collecting income. There's certain different write-offs you get. So people think they're buying a house and really they're buying a small business, right? And that's really what it is. And if you have that mentality going in, you will make way better decisions. But most people buy it and treat it like a hobby.
So I think that's the difference, right? I think with a lot of people, they just buy the property thinking, okay, this is a duplex, it's going to make me money. But you're saying if you switch that mindset to I'm buying a business, no different than someone going and buying a franchise.
Nope. It's the same thing. That's how I appreciate it. You bought a franchise. It's just you bought this franchise that's in this one location. So now if you buy another duplex that's franchised in that location, can you cipher over each one? Yeah, because now if I have a handyman, I can have that handyman work here and there. Oh, wow. Right? So like you can streamline your process and everything else, but you have to approach it from a business. So what I tell a lot of my clients is that my commission is to work for you after the close. Because most agents, they close, they're going to go on to the next one. But I know you're trying to build a business. So now this is where the real work starts, right? So if you're doing a fix and flip, well, if I just walk away and not concern myself with you fixing it and making sure you have the right general contractor, now something that was supposed to take 4 months is taking 8 months. That's 4 months of not being back on the market that I could have been selling for the listing. Right.
So and that's important. That brings another important part of the investments that you make. Not only is it important to know the market and seeing if this is going to make you an ROI, but also hiring the right agent, because I feel like you understand that they're hiring you, but it's not a transactional, or it's not a transaction based on every transaction. So they're hiring you for your professionalism in building a business.
So what I tell people is, for me to get 100 deals, I don't need 100 clients. Most agents need 100 clients because they're helping someone buy their home. Mm. So that person buying a home is not going to be buying another property in the next 6 months. Wow. Or that investor, I have a client, bought one in March, bought another one in August.
Gotcha.
Right. So I got 2 deals off that one client. And just like you were saying, like we bought the second one thinking it was going to be a fix and flip, but because the way I run my numbers and knowing what he's doing, I also ran it as a rental.
Wow.
So I knew that if we couldn't, market switched on us
which it does,
which it went from a $20,000 difference where it didn't make sense to put it back on the market, but he could get the rental. So bought it for 127, put 60 in it. He's all in 180, got appraised at 240. We kind of didn't think he would get that if we put it on the market. So he's refinancing, getting all his money back, got some extra money to go get the next deal, and then we rented it out for 2,200.
Wow.
So it was a win-win-win-win all across the board.
Yeah. So, and you would say to anybody that's trying to invest or start into this, like, ask these questions to the agent that you're trying to hire. Yes. Like, hey, what is our plan B if this fails? Because I think not only does that safeguard your initial investment, but it also shows you whether or not the agent is capable of doing this, right?
And it's not knocking people, but these are 2 different things.
Yeah.
Right. Helping someone buy their home or they want to raise their family. I tell people that I don't know how to have a conversation with someone who says this kitchen is perfect for me to raise my family. There's a connection there that I don't necessarily get. But if someone came to me and was like, what do I need to do to this kitchen to raise my rent? I can answer that all day.
Gotcha.
Right? So those are 2 entirely different questions. Yeah. There's an empatheticness that some agents have when they're talking to someone that they're trying to connect with because this is their dream home. This is the home they've been waiting for.
Yeah.
Right. So those are 2 entirely different conversations. Cash on cash return, right? That's, as an investor, that's what you should be asking your agent. Do you know what cash on cash return is? Because if they can't help you run the numbers, then all that investor's gonna do is be dictating stuff to you, and then who's the professional?
Yeah. And well, that's why they're hiring you, right?
Yep.
They're hiring you not to open and close a door. Yes. They're hiring you to basically give them the blueprint or give them options of this is how I would run it. Mm-hmm. This is why we would run it this way. And here's also your plan B in case things fail. And I like that you said that one of your clients actually bought the house for a fix and flip, but the market shift and they were able to continue to make money because of the rental positive rental that it had.
Yep.
So
kind of like the 7% rule, because we was based off of that, we knew the equity was there to now go to the lender and say, give us that money back.
Wow.
Right. So now he was able to get his money he put in there and then a little bit extra. He didn't get everything, right? Because technically he was in 180. If he sold it at 240, he would have got 60,000. So he would have got his 60,000 plus another 60. I think he's going to pull out maybe 220. So now he's going to get his 60 back plus an additional 40.
Okay.
So now he got $100,000 out of something he just put 127. Well, the down payment. So this is the cool thing about using hard money. He bought something at 127 and got the rehab budget. So it was about 180. They did points. So I think all he had to do was put about 10,000 down.
Wow.
So he was just 10,000 in. Now he got the rehab budget out. Plus he's getting extra money.
Wow. So it's cash flowing on both sides.
Cash flowing to get all his money back. So this is the situation. So he's the perfect example where he's cash flowing right away because he got his investment back, and now he's getting $2,200 a month. Wow. So now he's a winner. So now to answer your first question, he's cash flowing because he got his investment. Most people will buy it and say they're getting $2,200, but you still put your $40,000 in there. So until we get the $40,000 back, you just got $2,200 that's paying that off.
And that's what I tell most folks is that if they're trying to dive into investments, they need to hire the right person. They absolutely need to hire the right person because it's going to cost you money. It's how much money is it going to cost you? Yeah. And I mean, what you did for this client particularly, I mean, you safeguarded, you saw a shift, you went into it and get it. Now, typically for a first-time investor, how long does it typically take to see actual cash flow come in?
I would say technically maybe 18 months because you have to set everything up. So, for example, first-time investor, typically what I would suggest to them is doing FHA.
Okay.
Right? Because in FHA, now you only have to put 3.5 down.
Perfect.
You house hack it. House hack is a term of you living in it. Right? So if my mortgage is $2,000 and I'm able to charge, let's say $1,000 to the other renter, I got to still pay $1,000. So technically, I'm not making any money really, but you have to look at it. Well, someone is paying $1,000 in my mortgage, so I'm saving $1,000. Okay. So what I always tell people, save half of whatever your tenant is paying when you're living in there. So if they're paying $1,000, you should be saving $500 a month, In 12 months, you got $6,000. Well, guess what? Now you got
Boom.
$6,000
For the next one.
deal.
Wow. So you would say, and you would advise people not to take profits right away, then save.
What's your goal, right?
Okay.
Because again, this is strategy.
And that right there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, right? Like it's what's the goal? Because
Yep.
everybody's different.
Yep.
But it's crazy that a lot of agents, they don't do that. It's a simple question. What is your goal? What are you trying to
Are
achieve?
you planning for the future? Then don't take anything off. Maybe you're just buying this because you want to go on 2 more trips. Like that's what I tell people. This is lifestyle purchase, right? Instead of you buying that new car, let's go buy this duplex that's making $500 a month.
Right.
Your payments is $500.
Wow.
It's a wash, right? Or hey, I want to go on 3 more trips. That's an extra $12,000 a year. Well, that's a part-time job. That's a property, right? If I'm getting paid $400 a month from a duplex, 12 months, that's what, $4,800. Well, I'm halfway to my $12,000 to go on 3 trips. Wow. Now I get another one. Now I'm at $9,600, right? So that's the questions I ask myself. Are you trying to have more trips? Are you trying to buy a better car? Or are you genuinely trying to save for the future? Because I can spend out the $500 a month every time I'm getting because I want this nicer car. And if I really run into an issue, I just sell the property. I had that with someone. They went through a financial issue, bought a duplex 4 years ago, and that's not what they wanted, but that's what they were able to use for. They got into some stuff where they needed $50,000. They sold their duplex and got $70,000.
Okay.
Took care of the problem and had $20,000 worth of cash to start making other decisions. So that's the beauty that real estate brings, especially when you're investing. It helps you get out of the situations that you might find yourself in. Right?
Okay. So then let's switch roles here.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a real estate agent trying to get into helping investors, what is one advice that you would give them? Like, hey, stay away from this, or hey, do it this way.
So I tell people I have my bachelor's in finance. I can't really tell you what I could do with it, but all I know is that it taught me the language. So that's the first thing I would tell an agent: learn the language, and that is cash on cash return. What is that? What is that formula? What does that mean? What is cash flow? What is return on investment? These are terms that investors are going to use. So those are the things you need to learn, right? That's the language you need to learn so that you can articulate what the situation is, right? That's the difference between someone trying to sell the duplex for $100,000 and then this other one over here, and they're like, it's the same. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you're not going to get the same return on investment. Wow. You're not going to get the same cash on cash return because the one over here is already making $2,000, and over here you're going to have to put that same amount of money plus more to get it up to the $2,000. So now my cash on cash return is less.
Okay.
Right. So, but if I didn't know that formula, if I didn't know that language, I would be like, well, you're buying the same property.
Okay. So let me ask you this, and I want the real version, the unedited version, the real version, not the IG version. If you had to start all over again, no connection, no credit, no nothing, what is the first thing you would do as an investor agent?
Investor agent?
Yes.
So now there's a question: am I buying it for myself, or am I trying to work with clients?
You're trying to work with a client.
I would do the same thing.
Yeah.
I would learn the language. I would learn the language, and
so you educate yourself basically.
I would educate myself, and then I would find where investors are.
Okay.
I wouldn't change anything I kind of did. I think I did it the right way in the sense of. So one thing, I got my license back in 2005. I know it was long. I know I'm old. But one of the reasons, and I had to be like, I was young and black, so I was nervous and didn't have any money. So I thought if I asked other agents to take me to these homes when I wasn't ready, they wouldn't do it. So one of the reasons why I got my license was that no one could stop me from going to look at properties and learn. Yeah. So I would say that was the first thing. And then the next thing would be, okay, start reading some books so I can learn the language. And it's not necessarily you want to hear other people's stories. Like I have a book right here. This book kind of teaches someone's process. But I would just learn the language.
Wow. So learning the language and putting yourself out there.
Yep.
I mean, put yourself out there. And
I would say that was the second thing is I started just telling people I'm in real estate, right? Even though I wasn't there, I wasn't ready, I wasn't pre-approved. I was like, hey, I'm in real estate. This is what I'm trying to accomplish. Find out your end goal. Like, what are you really trying to do? Those are the most important things.
And I know you do the investor meetups, and that is open to any realtor that wants to join or wants to learn a little bit more about investments and stuff like that. Would you recommend, like, if there's an agent that's watching this out there and wants to learn, what?
Yes, I would say definitely come in. We do charge the first time you come is free.
Okay.
We do charge that just because we do bring food and drinks and things like that. But then we do have some expertise in there. We're kind of a smaller group, so like one of the things that I think makes us a little bit different than anyone else, we actually run analysis at our meetings. So like if you bring a property that you want to us run the numbers on, we'll do that.
Okay.
And then we tend to have specialists come to the meeting. This month, I thought it was cool. We were able to go around and ask people their goals for the year.
Oh, wow.
Again, I don't think most other investor meetup groups do that because they either have too many or they're in very social settings.
Yeah.
We have the luxury of having this amazing building that Angel has for us that our brokers take advantage of, so that we can be a little bit more intimate.
Yeah. And just to be clear here, if you do come to these investor meetups, there's no obligation to join Next Home or anything like that. It's just more or less something that you're really passionate about. And I know in our brokerage, we love to help individuals grow with where their passion is. So do not feel obligated or feel like, oh my God, I'm going to get pressured to join. That is not the case at all. We're just trying to simply educate and help.
We don't want a lot of people. Like, to be real, like we actually cipher through our Facebook group, and if someone is not engaging, we remove them.
Perfect.
Yep. We want people that want to do this, right? And if you are window kicking or window shopping, that's fine. But there comes a certain point where we want you to move on something. So like either it's further educating yourself, so that means you're doing more stuff, or it's coming to some of the showings we do go on. So like sometimes we meet together on the weekends and go look at properties.
Nice.
So yeah, we want you to move in this direction. It doesn't pay us to get $29 from you and you never do anything, right? Because the whole point of it is, the whole reason why I did it, I wanted to create an ecosystem.
Nice.
So like the meetup group is just another part of that ecosystem. It gets more, vendors in there. We got contractors, we got lenders, we got general contractors, we got electricians. So like all having those people, our goal is to speed up the process, right?
Yeah.
So I always tell people, if you have a 5-year goal, working with me or being in our group, it should be a 3-year goal because everything should be sped up. So it might take you 2 weeks to go call around general contractors, getting their information. Well, I already have them. So now it should take you 5 days, right? And now you should be able to make a decision. So now you have a whole week where you are able to make a decision sooner.
Nice. So that's good because there's a stigma out there that you're trying to get or recruit or keep them. We don't want your agents. We just want to educate those agents because those are the same agents that we're going to be working with too.
Yep.
And I think that's the biggest thing here, whether you're doing investment in real estate or commercial real estate or whatever it is that you're doing in real estate, we just want to work together. And I think that's the biggest thing, that there's like this force where it's like, oh, combating. No, we're in the same industry.
One of the people that helps run it is a Shore West agent.
Nice.
And there's no beef or anything, and I feel like him being part of this goes back to the beginning, right? It's more educated investors, agents in the market. So then now things are going to get priced right.
Yeah. And it helps the industry.
It helps the industry.
And it makes the conversation a lot easier because then, if you know somebody from a different company, you're like, hey, it's Charles. Hey, oh my God. And then you have that conversation. So I think it's not only important to network and get to know each other, but also like you can be friendly to each other.
My thing is, like, when I have conversations, like, I want to be able to have conversations with someone that understands where I'm coming from, right? If I'm bringing up cash on cash return and they have no clue of that and they're just looking at, 3 other duplexes sold, like, we're not talking the same, and then you're going to be thinking I'm lowballing you when I'm not, right? And that's the other issue that I run into a lot with even investors and other agents. Someone be like, can I write a low offer? I was like, it just depends, right? What is your reason? You just can't say, let's write 50,000 lower. I'd be like, what is the reason why we're writing 50,000 lower? Well, because I think it's this. I have to put this much money in there. This is going to be the return. I have no problem, because now when that other agent's like, why are you writing this low offer? I'm like, well, technically I'm not writing a low offer because these are the reasons. You're just priced too high. Just because you put something on the market at that price doesn't mean that's the price. And just because I wrote a lower offer doesn't mean it's a low offer. It could be the right offer.
Lowball offers are acceptable with the right facts.
Yep.
There it is.
That's it. That's the real estate.
That's the real estate. So You guys, there you have it. This is Charles Clark from Next Home My Way, one of my colleagues. If you want to benefit or know more about the investment side of real estate, whether you're a realtor or an investor that's trying to learn more, where can they reach you at?
They can reach me at CC at X Home My Way. You can find me on Instagram at Raise the Standard RE. Yeah, I'm
Cool.
at Next Home My Way.
All right. Well, there you have it, guys. And that is the real in real estate investment. Thank you, Charles.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ooh.